As promised, we are back on the sports news. Right now I'm joined by Bob Joers, Athletic Director at Middleton. Bob, thanks for joining us here today.
No problem. It's great being able to come in and talk about Middleton athletics, and thanks for having me.
And I want to start off with talking about Middleton athletics. You know, you guys are running a lot of sports, very successful as well. How do some of your student athletes, balance sports life on a very successful level as well as homework, maybe jobs, home life, and everything else?
This day and age, it's very tough for a youth to be able to do that because the demands, both athletically, what their coaches want them to do, the youth leagues. It's not like just going out and being able to play like we used to do when we were young. And academic-wise, the standards, the pressures to get into different colleges have increased. I think the coaches play a big part in that. As for balancing and being able to talk with the athletes, see how they're feeling, what they need to do, we've been fortunate to do a pretty good job of it.
And as you mentioned, working with the coaches and the student athletes, Middleton students have had great attitudes and have been positive in the community on and off the field. Is that something that kind of starts at the top with you, trickles down to the coaches and onto the athletes, or what has been the secret to making sure you're making good players on and off the field?
Well, really it does start from the top, and I don't think just from me. It starts from the setting that our Board of Education gives us, what our administration would like our student athletes as well as our student body to be like, me passing it on down to the coaches, but then it's really how the coaches carry it on out. As for our coaches, I think they do a great job at making the experience positive, molding a team that may be a good team into very successful at the state level team. They've pushed the kids as hard as they can to do that, as well as give them times when they need a little off or time to get their studies done. So it's been very positive for us.
And being able to balance all that stuff like we talked about, Middleton did have a very successful winter season. Can you give us some of the highlights of the winter sports season and maybe some things we want to look forward to as we get into spring sports?
Sure. Our boys basketball team had an amazing run this year. We were supposed to be 6th in the conference. They ended up 3rd in the conference. Went to the regional final game. Unfortunately, didn't get past that. Our girls gymnastics team took 5th in the state. Our swim team boys, swimming and diving, took 7th in the state. We had some snow and ski boarders go to state and finish very well as a couple of our wrestlers made it to state also. Our hockey team made it all the way to the sectional final game, lost a close one to Madison Memorial, but really they won conference, had a great season. I think the highlight of the winter season was with our girls basketball program, who took 3rd in the conference, very competitive conference, probably one of the best in the state, and made it to state and lost in an overtime thriller to a Divine Savior Holy Name team that had the best player in the state this year, the player of the year, and it took a record performance for her to beat us. So they did an amazing job, and we were really proud of our girls.
Well, congratulations. Sounds like a great winter season. We want to wish you luck on a successful spring sports season as well. Bob, thanks for joining us here on the Sports News today.
No problem. Have me back.
Bob Joers, Athletic Director of Middleton. We want to thank you for tuning into the Sports News. Please tune in all week long, and we'll see you right here.